Hello, hello, hello. Antphrodite here, your pop culture psychic, back to you again with another celebrity reading. This time it's on Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. So, allegedly, the streets are talking because they wrote letters in defense, I guess, of the character of this guy, Danny Masterson, who I think was like on trial for some crazy stuff. And the internet feels betrayed, and they had to make an apology video and all this crazy stuff. So I'm not like 100% sure of everything going on, but I think I know enough now to do this reading. So I'm going to look at the dynamic between Mila and Ashton, and then why they made those videos and go from there, or made the statement and go from there. So remember, these readings are all alleged, friend tapers only, and let's get started. Also, don't forget, if you like this, you can always join my YouTube memberships. There's a link down below. There's a link in the description if you are on mobile. There's a $5, $10, and $15 tier, and you get access to exclusive pick a card, story times, vlogs, things like that. And you can win a reading from me. All right. So, Ashton, okay. Ashton is going to be on the left, and then I want to see what's going on between these two first. And then underneath each of them, I'll put their like reasoning for doing what they did. Okay. It's not shocking that both of those are like IOUs. Okay. So the Three of Wands is what Ashton shows up as. So for me, I definitely feel like he always feels pulled between other people. I think he kind of gets into other people's business, or just pulled in other directions. I feel like he steps in shit a lot. The Tower is reversed, which is Mila, which is like rebuilding and restructuring. And I'm a little concerned with the Death card between the two of them. Now, Death is reversed, is about a rebirth. And so for me, I think their relationship has gone through a lot of change and a lot of new dynamics. Like, this is usually the sign of a couple that should have broken up like 45 times already and then decided to get together, or were able to work through it. I don't know how long they've been together, but yeah. Three of Wands can sometimes indicate someone who has cheated before, but if that was the case, the Tower reverse would have been Mila forgiving. But for the most part, to me, this just seems like a lot of times the two of them just seem to grow from their pitfalls. And so I think they kind of just like learning from each other, which is weird. Because I'm like, if I'm seeing the Tower reverse, which is Mila, which is you having to restructure and do so many new things and do so many different things, and he's the Three of Wands, which is him always like getting stuck in the middle of things, it just seems to me like the way I would read this is that Mila is kind of getting sucked into his BS. And so I personally don't see what the benefit of that is, but I'm not in their relationship, and that's not really the focus of the reading, so I'm not going to go super in-depth with that. I guess if you really wanted a reading on that, you can put in the comments down below, and I'll go more in-depth with that. But I don't know. I kind of just see her as like his plus one. And somehow she's managed to think that they're growing together, which to some extent they are, but I find that hard to believe that he like necessarily needed, those experiences to grow as much as maybe she needed them. I see him as more advanced, so maybe he's playing more naive than she realizes, especially with that Three of Wands. Like, why are you distracted by other people? Have you cheated before? Anyways, now as to why they did what they did, the Hierophant is reversed. So the Hierophant being reversed, first of all, that's again divorce or stepping out of a marriage, but I'm not going to go into it any further than I've already brought it up. But the Hierophant being reversed for him is about a lack of commitment, a lack of follow through, which is absolutely, in my opinion, allegedly for Chambers only, an IOU. Period. That's it. You scratch my back, I have to scratch yours. That's the Hierophant reversed. And it's that simple. Because I can't not follow through with what I already said and did. I can't. Now, Mila being the Six of Pentacles, that's accountability, reliability, dependability. Sometimes we see that as like contracts and things like that. The way I see the Six of Pentacles is I have to do this because. So, how do I word that? If, oh my God, this is so, yeah, Six of Wands. It's like superficial. Okay. I have to stand by my man, right? So, you know what it reminds me of? Teresa Giudice, when she went to jail, basically, she was just signing things that her man told her to sign. That's what it's giving me. It's giving me like, I'm just going to sign the contract. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to do this. I just don't think that Mila is someone I would consider very, not to be rude, bright. Like, this is not a book smart individual. This is someone who is very naive. And I think it's very easy to get into her head if you built loyalty with her, and she would do something because I think she trusts a little bit easier than she should trust. And so with the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Wands, to me, it's like surface level. So it's like, oh, I trust him. He's telling me to do it. I trust him. I'm doing it because I'm doing it because. Like, there's not really a reason. I'm doing it because. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but basically she's doing it because she, quote unquote, has to, or feels like that's what she's supposed to. Okay. Lover's card, King of Wands, and Eight of Swords. So, the Eight of Swords is about being trapped. What? He's the King of Wands. The Lover's card is their relationship, but why would someone be trapped in their relationship? I don't get that. Huh? What? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I've never, ever read anything like this before. So I'm always learning things, and I do not necessarily know exactly what this means. So I'm looking forward to eventually figuring it out. So their relationship does not feel like a relationship in which two people love each other. It feels like Ashton chose her because she was a good candidate, but not like, oh, I'm just going to choose someone I like, but because Eight of Swords, someone was like trapped or pressured, which makes no sense to me. I don't get what that means. Like, Three of Cups was about other people, other choices. The Two of Wands didn't work out. Three of Pentacles. It's like if I put effort and energy into multiple people, but the only one it worked out with would be you. But I don't really like you. But I have no choice. But it feels more like an experiment. Like if I were to experiment, this doesn't feel like a guy dating 3 different girls. Like that's what it doesn't feel like to me. It feels like an experiment. It's like if I tried out I don't know how to describe this. It's like if it's like if I took chickens and I bred them and I made them make eggs and I was trying to make the perfect chicken. And I waited until the chickens hatched. And then when the chickens hatched, I can see which one is the good one. What the fuck does that mean? almost like he had his eye on her for a very, 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 very long time. And she's not the only one. Six of Swords reverse, Empress, and the Four of Swords reverse. Do they have children? Not me choking. Because the Empress is about like the strongest surviving. This is so weird. Six of Swords reverse, Four of Swords. It's like the strongest survived. I really feel like she just mimics him. It's like, oh, fine. The other ones didn't work. I have to go back to this one because this one just does whatever I say. It's weird. I don't know, you guys. I guess you could say the strongest survived, or technically, I guess the weakest one did. It's like if there were other people, but it's like if there were multiple girls, but they all woke up except for Mila. That's basically how I'm describing it to you. I don't fucking know. You guys are going to have to read between the lines. Remember, I'm seeing metaphors, and I don't know anything about this couple. So, excuse me. You need to help me. Anyways, I'm going to look at Ashton and Danny. Uh-oh. Well, Ashton showed up as the Ace of Pentacles. That's like money, status. Danny showed up as the Four of Cups reversed, detached. And between the two of them, Ace of Swords, opportunity. I definitely think that Ashton tried to help him before all of the allegations and things like that. I think that he was trying very hard to get him like on the right track, if that makes sense. Because in Ashton's mind, he didn't think at the time that he was as bad as he was. Does that make sense? King of Swords, Strength card reverse, and Five of Pentacles. Here it is. So at the time, what Ashton knew was nowhere near as severe and crazy as was actually going on. Okay? So for him, he was just like, all right, we'll figure it out, right? I got you. I'm loyal, right? The reason for that is because back in the day, there was a lot of things that Ashton was doing himself that were gray areas. So his moral compass, while normal people's moral compass is probably like this, Ashton's was a little bit like this, right? And so he figured, okay, Danny's is like this too. And so all's well that ends well. We'll try to figure this out. And I think that's where he got stuck. Because while, yes, Ashton's was like this and Danny's was like this, Danny's grew to be like this. And Ashton stayed like this. So now Ashton's screwed because he's supposed to be like this. And now he's realized as an adult, a full-blown adult, that being like this is not acceptable. That's what's going on. So if 1 is morally correct and 10 is morally corrupt, Danny was at a 4 and Ashton was at a 4. And he didn't think there was anything that bad about it because whatever. But really, Danny ended up growing into a 10. And now Ashton, who remained at a 4, was screwed. Because now he will look bad. There it is. That's what I see. That's what's going on. I think Ashton had a huge ego, and I think he liked to please some people. I think he liked to be like one of the guys, and I think he wanted to seem cool to all the guys. And so I think he did a lot of stupid shit. I don't think he does any of that shit anymore. But I think he did a lot of shit, especially when he was making a shit ton of money, 10 of Pentacles. I think he was a little cocky and a show off. And I think a lot of that, he's afraid of it biting him in the ass. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't really understand their dynamic or why he it feels like Mila was an experiment. Like she was his scientific experiment. That's what it feels like to me. Like if I raised you in a petri dish. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't know what that means. Why does she not really feel like a person? Why does it feel like she just copies everything he does and mimics him? I don't really get their dynamic. You know, I get that I'm seeing an exaggerated perspective and I get that I'm seeing metaphors and stuff. And so it's all stuff to try to like express what's going on. I'm sure she is an actual person who has opinions, but like that's not what's showing up, which is trying to get me to a point that I don't understand. So y'all can let me know in the comments down below. I'm sorry if this video sucks. I'm sorry if I did a really bad job of explaining. But hopefully this helped somewhat. Okay, if you guys like that, make sure you follow me Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Antphrodite. I stream live on all those platforms. And sometimes I do readings for people on there. Subscribe down below, please, if you haven't. And join my YouTube memberships. $5, $10, and $50 tier. You get access to exclusive pick-a cards, story times, and you can win a reading from me. There's a link in the description for people who are on mobile, and there's a button down below that says join. All right, until next time, bye guys.